Cam, congratulations, second win of the year. How does it feel?
Yeah, super stoked to get the win today. Last week was, really tough for us as a team, and, we got lapped on the Saturday. So, the guys have done an absolutely amazing job in the week off to, give me a car that was capable to be at the front and, not just be at the front, but look after its tyres and get the race win.
What was the turnaround? What was the key to going from getting lapped a week ago to winning today?
There's a lot to it, to be honest. The car was totally different today than it was, last week, and it's a massive credit to all the engineering group at Tickford. They, really put their heads together and worked out what we probably do right and what we do wrong, and come up with a solution. And so far, today it was really good. The car was totally different and influenced a lot of things that I was struggling with last weekend.
Was there a moment where, we saw Anton came very close, when he had the new tyres on. Was there a moment where you thought you weren't going to get the win?
I wasn't too phased with Anton catching me, because I knew that, the dirty air was probably going to cook him, and I felt like I had a better race car than him, in that first stint towards the end. But yeah, I was probably more worried about the Triple Eight cars. I saw them in the mix and wasn't really sure where they were at, but they had penalties and other stuff going on. So once I found out that, it was more about just, having a clean race and just getting it to the end.
And is it a monkey off the back? I guess it's second win, as we said. But from where you were a week ago, from where you've been the last couple of races, is it kind of a relief to get a win?
Oh, it's a massive relief. Obviously, last week we got lapped, and that's, kicking the nuts, to be honest. So to be able to turn it around and to win a race, that's, incredible. So like I said earlier, the engineering group have done a fantastic job. A massive shout out to Potsy, who's couldn't make it this weekend. He had surgery during the week, but he had a lot to contribute to the car for this weekend. And I know he'll be at home with a big grin and raring to get back.
Jamie got the 15-second time penalty for what? For stalking you into pit lane. Run us through that moment for you. Did you have your eyes on him? Did you? You skidded into pit lane. It was very tight. He did the same thing, but he got pinged. Just run us through that. I guess what happened there.
I actually had no idea that he got the penalty till later in the race, but I was pretty hot into the lane and he caught me a fair bit, so it makes sense now looking at it. And not just then, but down the pit lane, he seemed like he was catching me for some reason, so that was a bit weird. But is what it is, I suppose. You do something wrong, you get penalised.
And going into tomorrow, car stays the same?
Not too sure yet. Got a debrief with the engineering group, and the other cars they're on their own programs. They're doing all things a little bit differently, so we'll have to put our heads together and see, which cars did what well. And I think there's a little bit more to come from my car for sure, but it's a hell of a lot better than what it was last week.
Alrighty, I'll leave it there for you, and I'll move on to Anton. Back on the podium here in Townsville, not quite the win. Happy with second?
Any day you get a trophy is pretty good. We had a potential to get a win today, so we'll look at why and how and worry about that. But always good if you started the day and you said you're going to come and get a trophy, you're going to be pretty happy. So we've got a pole on the trophy. We've had a good day. We'll have a look at things we can do better and try and get better tomorrow.
Cam said he wasn't too fussed about you when you got close towards the end there. Was there a moment where you thought you may be able to take the lead back?
I was trying. I wasn't super confident. Our race car is probably not as good as what we had last week. Our qualifying car definitely better. So we'll probably have to hybrid that together a little bit and work out what we can do there. I think it's whoever come out of the pit stops in front was going to win that race, and today was Cam. And
for you for tomorrow, do you and Ludo change things up trying to get that win?
For sure. We know what makes a quicker quality car around here now, and we know what makes a pretty good race car last week. So, obviously there's limited time between qualifying and race, so you can't sort of get the best of both worlds. But we'll probably try and hybrid something in the middle and compromise and work out what we can do better, and then hopefully that makes tomorrow better. But either way, any day you get a trophy around here, it's a hard track, so we're pretty happy.
Run us through the tyre situation. Is it different to last week? Is there more deg in these SuperSprint races? Do you drive differently to look after tyres, given there's 3 races?
No, not really. You know, when you're racing these guys, you got to push quite hard every lap. You can't just cruise around. But yeah, you probably push a little bit harder early because you know the first stint's a bit shorter. But either way, we're doing a quite long stint anyway, so the deck's still hurting you. You just got to, you know, drive as best you can and have the car under you to look after its tyres, which today we didn't have the best of. But hopefully tomorrow's better.
And for yourself, you're kind of consistently on the podium at the moment. Is that where you expect to be now? I guess, you know, every race you want to be, you know, top three?
Yeah, sounds pretty good. But yeah, I mean, like all of us, we come to the track, we try and be fastest in practice 1, 2, qualify and race. That's just a natural for us. So, I mean, you always want to be the fastest, but any day you come in top 5, podiums, collecting trophies, it's quite good. You're collecting points. But yeah, we're always aspiring high. We know what we're capable of, so we just got to put it together and keep collecting.
Righty, I'll move on to Chaz. 3rd place today. Given what happened last week, happy with that?
I think you pretty much answered it, yeah. Very happy. It was a super tough week last week for the whole team, and then even practice today to first part of qual, it's been an emotional roller coaster from this morning to this afternoon. So great to repay our guys and girls at WAU with a trophy today. Probably lucked into it today, but to turn a car that was struggling to get into the top 10 in a race result last week to probably a clear top 5 pace car, and today was a big turnaround.
How frustrating was last week for you? Because I think we saw it, you know, in broadcast that there was clearly you were frustrated. So how frustrating was it?
Yeah, very frustrating. I think you know, you're frustrated because you see the effort everyone's putting in the team. You know, the amount of changes going across a weekend, and without really getting an outcome. So more the frustration of, you know, you see the guys at the team working as hard as they can to give you something, and you just can't turn it around. So yeah, look. I'm just happy with the result today, to be honest.
And like Cam, did you guys throw everything at it, just change everything from last week just to say, let's have a crack?
Yeah, we changed everything last weekend. We changed more stuff this weekend. Probably kept a more level head this weekend and tried to play with our strengths, and then really probably only started to get onto something, you know, with a couple of tweaks in that qualifying. So, yeah, we'll just see what we got again tomorrow. No doubt we'll have another think about it and try and tune it up. There's still some pace we need to find to a couple other cars out there. I think that race was pretty good for us that we could actually see the lead of the race instead of last week where don't even think I saw the ninth on the road other than the lead of the race. So yeah, massive turnaround and great for all our sponsors, and yeah, we'll see how we go tomorrow.
Is the car where you want it to be for tomorrow?
No, not yet. It's still room to improve. We're obviously pretty speedy at the end of that race, but our cars work very differently than the guys we're racing. So lap times are fast, but a bit of a hard race car. So we need to try and make some improvements there tomorrow.
For yourself, I think still 3rd in the championship. Is that a pass mark for you right now?
I don't know. You guys keep telling me stats, and I don't know how to read them. So cool.
All right, I'll ask some questions on behalf of Connor from Speed Cafe, who's not here. He's on the Gold Coast. So for Cam, yeah, you confident we've gone through that. Anton, in hindsight, do you feel like you could have or should have made the pass tougher for Cam?
The what, sorry?
In hindsight, do you feel like you could or should have made that pass tougher for Cam?
It's pretty, not really, like he can't really do anything. He's next to me in the braking zone and I've got 17 PSI and cold tyres and he doesn't. So he either goes around the outside or the inside. It's sort of up to him. There's not really much you can do. If you had a little bit more gap going out of the pitch, you can try something else. But yeah, it's so difficult on cold tyres, especially when they got warm tyres. Not much you can do. You just got to, we just had to pit a lap earlier. That's about it.
All right. Fraser, if you've got a question.
Yep. Anton, just on that pit stop strategy, do you thought you were kind of hard done there? Obviously Cam came through and just snuck you out on turn 2. Was that a pre-race decision to pit on that lap, or what were your thoughts on that?
No, not really. Like it's so hard to do it when you're in front because there is a massive undercut here, and the car behind can kind of dictate when they want to go. But yeah, you either be super aggressive and go super early, possibly hurt yourself at the end, or you kind of just wait and see. There's not really too much you can do other than guess at that point. Ideally, if we had a little bit faster race car, would have been a little bit further ahead, and then you've got a little bit of buffer for things like that. We just didn't have that today, so we'll work on that tomorrow.
You said that you're happy with the trophy or podium finish at any race. There's two different drivers up here this weekend compared to last weekend. How does that make you feel that you've just come up short again, Anton?
Feel the exact same as always. Like, doesn't matter who's sitting next to you. Any time you can get a trophy, it's so hard in this category. To do it 2 weeks in a row is amazing with a completely different car. So we're happy with that. But obviously we led the race, we got pole, so we want to get a win. We got a little bit of disappointment in that, but still to be second, we're happy. We just got to work on what we can do overnight and make it better tomorrow, hopefully.
What's been the most consistent aspect of your car, Anton? We've seen you perform so well over the past 2 weekends.
Well, my car from last week to this week is completely different, so there's been no consistent part of that. We just had to try and make the car a bit faster, which we did, but we hurt our race car a little bit. So, like I said before, we probably need to just work out how we hybrid that together a little bit. We've got sort of two different things that make two different strengths. We just need to work out some in the middle, so we can maybe not be as strong in quality, but have a little bit better race car, because it's so limited what you can do in between the session. You can't just go flip the car upside down. But we'll come with something tonight. We've got smart guys. We'll work something out. But either way, it was a good day.
Cool. Cam, similar question to Anton. Was it a pre-race decision for the undercut? Was it comms coming through from your team? Can you run us through the strategy to get in front of Anton in the race?
I guess we roughly knew before the race what we were thinking, but to be honest, I thought Anton would have pitted earlier than what he did, to be honest. So yeah, that really gave us the race.
How much confidence does today's result give you heading into tomorrow's two races?
It gives me a shot of confidence, gives the team that as well, and it just proves that we haven't forgot what we're doing for tyre life, so that's great. But you're saying that, I think Jamie was pretty fast today as well, so we've still got a little bit to find, I think, compared to those guys, but yeah, it's great to be up here and a massive turnaround from last week.
Cool, thanks guys.
All right, on that, congratulations guys. All the best in tomorrow's two races.